Hello, Talk Funders, and now we're going to do a deep dive with Karush from Osmoponic. Hello again there, Karush. I see like you've set up the interview beautifully because you've got you've got your three different types of planters: the Oasis, the Eden, and the Island, all featuring different plants in the background.
Yes.
Maybe we can just start the deep dive with just basically looking at how each, let's just start looking at each planter specifically. I think you have them to hand, and then we could like finish the interview off by actually look at them in situ with a plant in them. So can we maybe look at the Oasis planter first of all, please?
Of course. So the Oasis, first I'm going to show you this one. The Oasis is it comes in the small and the medium. This is the small, of course, and our planters are fully glazed on the outside and bottom. They're actually fired upside down in the kiln so that, the entire outside is sealed, so no water is seeping out, but except for the inside.
Can you just show me the reservoir hole? Oh yeah, great. Okay.
As you can see in this one, the reservoir hole is there, but it's not connected to the reservoir. So only water that's here, if it's oversaturated by any means, whether it's rain outside or watering from the top, it just seeps out and doesn't harm the plant.
Sorry, Karush, could you just hold that up again? So the reservoir, what I meant by the reservoir hole is where we put the water in. So you put the water, that's what I meant. Sorry for my non-technical language. So you put the water goes in there. And then
the water goes in here. The small holds 4 cups of water for a 30-day time for your plants, and the medium holds 8 cups of water, about 7 3/4 cups of water, which this is the medium. And as you can see, we designed them so the small and medium sit inside each other.
Oh yes, and that was in the main interview we were talking about that idea of the combination offer, where you can buy the small and medium one together, and it'll come packaged like that.
That's what we encourage people, because they kind of save a lot on shipping and packaging, and that's something we'd like to save on as well, because of the. And
then you have a nice, so the actual where you put the water in, it actually has a wee cover on it, and you just lift that cover off. And then
we put this because you don't want critters getting in there or mosquitoes laying eggs, and as long as the lid is in there and there's no sun getting into this, the water is pure as underground reservoirs.
Yeah, so funny, I was just thinking, God, that sounds like an aquifer or something. That gives a nod back to your Persian heritage, my friend.
Yes, the water remains absolutely clean, and it kind of has a cooling effect for the plants too, because if all the plant lovers out there know the benefits of having a ceramic terracotta plant as compared to a plastic one, because of the it's always cooler how it perspires like the skin does, and it keeps the plant roots cooler. Same with this, the water is always cooler because of the perspiration from the inside. Kind of takes the heat away from the
and then whenever
water,
people get it, they unpack it. So you'll have the say small and medium Oasis. You get some fresh soil or compost from the garden center, etc. You put that in, and you can, as a shows on your Kickstarter page, like you could even germinate a seed from within that, or you could put a plant that you already have into it as well.
Yes, what we suggest to people is what you put inside here is going to dictate what the reservoir does. So if you put a soil in here if you're putting a plant here that always likes moisture, then you're going to put a soil that can retain and absorb moisture. So for example, for this one there goes the lid. For this one that I showed you, this calathea likes moisture. So I use peat moss. Now this, for the whole 30 days, this is wet, because once I water it from the top, the soil absorbs whatever it needs, the excess drains out, and then when I fill the reservoir maintains that moisture content for the next 30 days. As water is evaporated, then, as we said, through osmosis, it becomes a higher concentration of solutes, and the water is the lower concentration of solutes, so it begins traveling through the ceramic permeable membrane and goes to the soil and plant uses it. And then once the plant roots reach the inner wall, they just directly interact with the ceramic wall and absorb from the ceramic, and then the reservoir replaces the moisture loss from the ceramic wall.
Wow, just as nature intended it. Fantastic, my friend. Okay. Will we move on to the Eden planter now? Correct.
Yes, and then Eden. So this is Eden. Now we like to call it, a square foot of heaven for your bonsais, because it's a 12-inch by 12-inch, and the inside is 9-inch by 9-inch. But as you can see, it's like this. This one also has the reservoir hole, and it has 9 holes at the bottom for all the wirings that you want to do for your bonsai, and extra ones too. And we added each hole inside one of these containers because these also have water inside them. Because this is shallow root area, and bonsais are meant to be in the sun, it was important that they don't just get water from the sides, because by the time water travels here, some is evaporating. It was important for the bottom to have access to water as well. That's why you see these channels, and I'll show you with the Oasis.
Was that the feminine? Was that the feminine planter? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That was the feminine. The feminine has the rounded corners for the feminine-looking bonsai trees, and the masculine has the sharp corners. And I brought this here because to show that all these channels are hollow, and same with the reservoir. So every time you fill up the reservoir, all these channels are filled up too. So the plant roots are taking water not just from the sides, like in the Oasis, but also from the bottom.
Fantastic. Oh, really good. And now we move on to the island planter, Kurush.
Of course. And then the island is for just added beauty. Like this one, you see there's 4 calatheas that are living harmoniously in here. Just, we feel like it makes it much more aesthetically pleasing and beautiful. If they just need this, they have the same needs, then we can use them in these planters. So, if you're using 3 orchids or 3 of any variety that can share the same type of soil and same type of moisture content, they would just look beautiful in the island. And let me show you the inside of the island as well. And this is the island on the inside and the bottom. As you can see, this one also has 3 drainage holes, the reservoir hole. There's water inside here too, which kind of functions for several reasons. One is that gives the plants in each section water from all 4 sides. And it also gives some more structural integrity to the planter during shipping, as well as doing firing, so that it doesn't bow or warp. So it kind of has a form and function purpose on this area for the island. And the island currently comes in 1 design, no feminine or masculine on that part.
And then the just to cover the colors again that they come in at, it's a matte white and then matte gray.
This will be the matte white, just to make it to very earth tone, goes with any kind of interior. Same with the gray, and this is the matte gray.
Yeah, lovely.
These are the 2 colors that we're currently offering in matte, because we wanted the attention to be on the beautiful plants themselves rather than on the planter.
Well, and as your background, your lovely background shows, the attention does goes on the plants, and it really works really, really well. And I think that was one of the lovely rewards that you have on the Kickstarter campaign, which is what's the name for it? Was it the all-in package where you can get all?
Yes, the combination of all of them. Yes.
And you could
I studied industrial design and in university, so there's some to the design, but there's also function and design have to go together. So, it's not important to make something that's beautiful that has a short function and limited function and then, goes away. So that's why we concentrate on something that, lasts a long time, has harmony. So we create this family of product to kind of meet all your needs for any variety of plant that you may have. And that's one thing I want to show. So for example, back here, you see, this is a wide variety of plants with completely different needs when it comes to moisture and the environment that they would thrive in. However, I know a lot of people during COVID bought so many plants and now they're going back to work and they don't know what to do with them. But all this variety of plants, all of them, when they're inside our planters, they all share the same watering date because I control so for example, this stump, I believe Ming stump or different name. So this plant gets the same, has the same watering date, even though it hates moisture and it easily develops root rot, as does this Calathea that loves moisture. Both of those, all of these get water at the same time every 3 to 4 weeks because the soil chosen for them is what fits them best for their needs. So this one has a soil that can hold up to 90% moisture, and that's what it does. Whereas that one, I've used pumice rocks that can hold about 10 to 15% moisture, and that's what that does. But all of them get the same amount of water at the same date, but they just create a different environment for that plant to thrive in it.
So in one sense, the Osmoponic is for providing a solution for the busy household who loves plants, who wants plants in their life, wants plants in their home. Yes. And, you can sort of say, okay, the first Sunday in the month, I'm going to water my plants. And, the Osmoponic takes care of it for you. And then it allows this idea of the plant advocacy, the idea of plant independence. Yes. It's up to them to take whatever, as you were demonstrating there, what their water needs. Like the plant knows what water it needs. So the Osmoponic just provides that solution for the homeowner, but also for the plant itself. So that's a wonderful synergy. Well, listen. Yeah,
it's funny. One time I was at a store and I was explaining to a nursery that for example, orchids thrive in this. I've never had an orchid die in that planter, and didn't like that. They said, well, we want the orchids to die because we want people to come and buy another orchid. I'm like, that goes against our philosophy completely. You want the plant, we want you to have plants and enjoy the benefits of it, but the plant has needs too that you got to look after too. So that's why we say plant advocacy, because we're fighting for the rights of the plants as well as the humans that care for them. So,
well, on that really positive point, thank you so much, Karush from Osmoponic, who are live on Kickstarter. I would really recommend everyone to hit the Kickstarter page, look at the rewards section. At the time of recording, there's some really great super early bird offerings. At the moment, Osmoponic is just shipping within the United States, but that will probably change over time as the company grows. So thank you very much, Karush from Osmoponic.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, my friend, for doing the deep dive. Bye-bye, my friend. Bye.